Okay, so in this example, they're asking us to take the derivative. D dx means derivative of this function. Now, let me show you the derivative rules. If you have something like x to the fourth power, say that's a function y or whatever, then y prime, that means derivative, or you can say d dx of y. There's two different notations, different ways of saying it. You can say y prime or you can say d dx of y. It means the same thing. Either way, let me just draw an arrow for both. They're both derivative. Or sometimes if it's f, it's say f prime or whatever. It's all the same thing. Whatever your function is. Either way, it's a derivative, okay? And what's the answer? What's the rule? The rule is you just take whatever power you have there, you bring it down to the front, and then you subtract one from it. So it's 4x to the third. That's the rule for x. For x. That's the rule for any variable x. But notice what we have right here. We have the d dx, the derivative, of pi to the seventh. Now you might think, well, just same thing. You just said it, Mr. And bring down the 7, subtract 1, it's 6. That's right. But look, it says false. Why is that false? Because pi equals 3.14159, blah, 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 blah. It's not a variable. It's a fixed exact number. That's the problem. The rule, this is what this example is trying to make sure you're clear on. This derivative rule of bring down the power to the front and lower it by 1. That's great for a variable, for something that varies, something that changes, like x, y, z, whatever. But if you're talking about pi is just a number. It's fixed. It's not a variable. You can't do that rule for pi. That's false. It's only for a variable, and pi is not a variable. So it's kind of a trick question, but actually something important to remember as we go forward. These rules are only for a variable, not for a fixed number like pi or e. E would be the same thing. E is another, if they gave you e, e is a 2.718, blah, 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 blah. It's a special number. And you couldn't, if you said, yeah, I got e to the 7, I'm just going to bring down, no, you can't do any of that. Not for pi or e, they're special numbers, but yeah, only for variables, x, y, z, whatever. It's got to be a variable. This might be your first time thinking about that difference between a variable and a fixed number, but we'll think about it more in calculus.